75,000 highly inflated US dollars price per Bitcoin coming maybe sooner than you think. Well, if you've been on this channel for the past couple weeks now, maybe it's even coming right on time, just like a good old wizard. And there's plenty to discuss today as we do get into higher term time frame closures for CME, because we've already seen the monthly close for March and actually the first quarter, which actually have major implications, some daily statistics and also setups as well. And other than that, let's just jump right into it, starting off right over here with our first chart. Very simple one, probably the most important one for the long term, which is CME's monthly closure. Price on the close was $71,530, which did close over $2,000 higher than the prior all-time high for Bitcoin. And generally speaking, when you see something like this, a very high term time frame closure above prior all-time highs, it's probably your major cycle breakout, actually. So in the short-term timeframes, we can see ebbs and flows. In fact, there could very easily be a short-term downside move, maybe even 68 to 69,000 bucks over the weekend. But ultimately, the higher-term timeframe direction is really being set in here. So I would be very respectful of that. Very respectful. I just want to, I don't know, buy at dinners and shit, I guess. Fucking dumb. But ultimately, upwards and onwards is like the name of the game. To add on to that, for the more short term here, if we go over to the dailies for Bitcoin and we actually look at each and every day and we start to create statistics that go over, what days are likely to do what, we do see that Friday is the most likely day to close positively. The bullish rate here, or positive closing rate, is 60.5% measured from the beginning of 2023, January 1st of 2023 to current times. Why am I choosing that date? That is because, at least in my opinion, that's when the bull market really did start, as Bitcoin put in the lows, started that nice move to the upside. And in this case, we do see an average return on those positive days at just over 2%. In the event that we do see a losing day, which, 60.5%, obviously about 4 out of 10 times, there's going to be a losing Friday. The reason why I say that is because there's always one of the comments when something like that on the opposite side of those statistics happens. They're like, "Ha, doesn't work, man." It's like, oh, holy shit. You don't get it, man. You just don't get it. But if you don't get it, get the fuck off this channel because you're just too smart. Anyways, in the event that we do see negative closures on Friday, losing an average of 1.5%. So in this case, if Bitcoin is going to take the positive route, 2% to the upside would create a nice range of interest at around 72,150. To the downside would be 69,600. And actually, I do think short-term downside is like not out of the question here. Anyways, what else can I say about this? Yes, also of interest here, we do see that on the 12-hour time frame, the Market Oracle Pro has actually fired off a strong buy signal. The last time that we saw a buy signal was back on over here in January of this year on the 27th, before Bitcoin went from 42,000 bucks to current all-time highs. And the time before that we saw a strong buy signal was back on over here at about 43,000 bucks, where Bitcoin did trade up to almost 49,000 bucks. And again, same thing over here, big buy signal, big buy signal. Big buy signal. A couple of them definitely were not that great, I would say, in the past year. Kind of one-offs here and there, but ultimately it did set in the more long-term trend, if you will. Now, this can, like I said, still account for short-term downside. This is more of like a, I don't know, I guess medium-term trend signal right here. In this case, so Bitcoin could come down back below 70,000 bucks. That's really not saying all that much. Just as long as that stays active, corrections to the downside below 70, maybe even closer to like 68, are completely fine as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, moving on from there, I do want to get into stochastic momentum. We do see that Bitcoin on the daily for CME maintains its positive curvature here, as it did close above 66,160 coming in from yesterday night. I would say, however, that because this is relevant to CME, which is not going to be trading until the 1st of April. It's April Fool. Oh God, I fucking hate April Fools. Every bad dad joke possibly made is just the day for that fucking day. I absolutely despise it. I'm not going to make a video for April Fool for April 1st. April Fools. Gotcha, bitch. Stupid. But in this case, it's not relevant for the next few days here. It's relevant for Monday. So if Bitcoin wants to play out a short-term downside move over the weekend, to like 68,000 or even 67,000, completely fine. That would still be higher lows, to be fair. But as long as Bitcoin's above 66,150 by Monday, okay, likely game on yet again. As we get into that the first week of April. Anyways, moving on from there, the 5-day time frame is also, yes, this one is going to be fresh, and as long as Bitcoin's closing above 69,450, remains twisted to the upside as well. Again, in the critical zone, it's going to be hard to maintain momentum there for like a very long time, but would still suggest, the more intervals probably poised for upside continuation. And then, of course, we have the weekly, which is kind of the same thing here too. Anyways, moving on from there, I do want to get into, of course, the HPDR bands, which on the daily for CME did close above the 61.8 level. I would have really liked to have seen it close above yesterday's high or Wednesday's high. Did not happen. That would be a lot more obvious for continuation, but nonetheless, we do see that there is a setup for continuation here, as we do see that one directional volatility represented by the HPDRO indicator is positioned to the upside and crossing the zero read right here on the moving average, which is important. And then that is coming alongside HPRV coming off of extreme lows and expanding as well. So that is, more of a probabilistic setup for the upside on these higher term timeframes, which we were going over yesterday as, a likely test of, to the high side of the range. We got that. And actually, Bitcoin on CME did close above the 61.8 level. So typically when we see that, especially alongside expanding volatility, naturally, a lot of the time you are going to see a move somewhere closer to the 78.6 level, which, by the way, is just below $75,000 price per Bitcoin, which, of course, plays hand in hand with some of our other things. Looking at other time frames, not really much to update right here. Weekly did close above the 78.6 level, so I mean, this one can really get going, I guess. But I really wouldn't be looking for I do think Bitcoin finds like another nice high somewhere between 75 to 79,000 bucks. I don't think that we're going to see like a screaming move from there. For reference. Anyways, moving on from there, I do want to go back into the daily setup for Bitcoin. The daily setup over here is going to be marked by daily VMP getting down below 5 percentile, alongside a daily uptrend and a 3-day uptrend. When those two factors are met, we have seen these statistics over here play out over the full history of Bitcoin. So this is a backtest going through basically the full history. And it did print just over 51% profitable rate. So that is, a hit rate essentially. So a little bit better than a coin flip, but more importantly, almost a 3 profit factor. And in the performance summary, we can see that the average winning trade, can you actually see it? You can't see it because my face is in the way. But let me just get rid of my face for a second here. We can see that the average winning trade was 22.5%. The average losing trade, 8%. So while this one doesn't have like a tremendously high hit rate, it has really good risk management for those stats. And on top of that, the average amount of bars in the winning trades that we expect is 14. The average amount of bars in losing trades that we expect is 5. So we've already passed the day number 5, obviously, because this one fired off on the lows at 61,900 on Tuesday the 19th. And so definitely more than 5 days have expired right there. So this one is obviously a lot more likely to be on the profitable side, playing into the former analysis. As of right now, we are on day number 10. Day number 14, which is the average. Again, there's going to be some variance here, would be the 2nd of April. So, looking at all these things, can Bitcoin play at a pullback over the weekend? Sure. I mean, again, I don't have strong opinions on that. It's just coming into next week. If we are going to see this one play out, I would expect it to probably happen next week. And of course, from that entry to 22% up would put Bitcoin at around 75,500. So I was wrong at the beginning. It's 75,500. Again, these are averages. There's going to be some variance in there. And realistically, the VMP is already at 55 percentile. And this one is going to take profit or initiate a take profit at 95 percentile. So it has some more ways to go. For reference, the last time that we saw 95 percentile was back here in February, where Bitcoin went on about a 20% move, actually. Time before that was this setup right here. This one actually not that much, about 7.5%. Of course, like I said, there's going to be variance there. But just, what I'm trying to show is that these, it takes some time to kind of build up to that. So theoretically, it could be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower. But I think because we already do see that Bitcoin is I think about 10% away from that entry. Sorry, 14% away from that entry. You know, it might overshoot that a little bit, but that's my speculation. Anyways, I should let you know that if you want to get access to the script, which allows you to backtest any sort of strategies that you might be considering with any indicators that you have access to on TradingView, you can get it in the link in the description below with the Krown Quant automation features, and it is on sale for 35% off of all of the monthly subscription payments for life, for the lifetime that you actually hold it, obviously, with the code HAPPY60 right here. We're never going to have a discount that is this big ever again. That's why I'm showing this as hard as possible, because I want to make sure that the people who are interested in this have an opportunity to get it at the lowest price possible. After this, you know, we'll still have discounts every once in a while, but it's not going to be as deep as what we're giving right now, like 35%, and it's also probably not going to be for all the payments as well. So just so you have full information. Again, if you're not interested, don't fucking get it. It's completely fine. But I do want to make sure that the people who are, you know, more interested in these things have that information. And then also you can use this script to automate to automate your trades. So you can basically, you know, test your shit over here, figure out, okay, do I want to trade this or not? And then if you want to have the little bot slave execute for you, then you set that up. Pretty damn simple. Requires the use of a third party, of course. It's a relatively low price, but you should probably know about that as well. And then yeah, I can trade for you. Of course, it's only as good as what you input into it. You know, I do give out a lot of strategies templates, just like we did yesterday with the 30-minute time frame strategy that we went over in yesterday's video. Again, that may or may not be relevant to you. Just trying to showcase, you know, some of the different ways that you can use it. Using it in like that one was actually like rather unique. But again, you know, it's really just up to your own imagination. So yeah. Anyways, that's enough for what? Also, Elsa would like me to tell you that she would really appreciate it if you were patient with her getting back to you, because she has a lot of emails. One thing that I'd really suggest, however, is don't fucking send multiple emails about the same issue. She will get to you. If you do that, it's probably going to take longer anyways. So just hold on. She'll get there. She'll get there. She's very, very good. Just, you know, it's busy right now. She's dealing with a lot of shit, and I can assure you it'll be done usually within 24 hours. In some very rare cases, 48 hours, but 24, she says, as she eats her salmon in the background. Anyways, do you want to say your line? Yes or no? Is it fuck or not? I need to know right now. Right now!
Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, and much love.